So, there's probably something out there that you've heard about how white girls shouldn't twerk because they're never good at it.
Interesting. I have seen some videos where white girls jump into a dance thing and everyone all of a sudden goes, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
So you about to pull this one? Is this the one where the guy turns his phone off?
I don't think so.
Okay,
I don't think it's the same one.
There's one I saw where all these dudes are like filming like these guys dancing, and this white girl gets in there, and this guy just goes, "No, I'm not filming that."
All right. I like his honesty. He's like, no. But this is a poor white girl who ends up injuring herself while she's trying to twerk.
I mean, she doesn't look that poor. Those pajamas look like they came from a pretty nice Sears catalog. So,
and I mean, she has the anatomy for it. You know,
she's definitely clapping butt. What? Man,
it's not bad.
Yeah.
But let's see what happens to this poor lady. Oh my God.
Oh. Oh. Oh my God. Oh my God. I think I just broke my back. I popped something. Oh my God.
So So
go on.
These poor white women are just trying so hard that they're breaking bags. Usually you have to get dick down pretty good to break your back.
Right.
She could do it all by herself. Oh my God.
I mean, she didn't sound that much in pain for breaking her back. I'm just saying. What I thought was funny was when she did it so white, and then the white noise that she made. Oh, oh.
Oh, like she's never felt that kind of pain before. She's like, oh, there's something about this. Oh, but you can hear it. You can hear it.
Oh,
crack.
They even put a freaking a closed caption on that crack. It's crazy.
All right, where the fuck is my mouse? Oh, you can hear that, dude.
Oh my God. I think I just broke my back. I popped something. Oh my God.
Yeah, your C7 and your C8 vertebrae.
Oh, poor white women. Just stop.
Just so stop. Funny. You're so funny. You're so goddamn funny. He's like, you idiot.
Idiot.
Broke your back.
There's just certain things where you shouldn't cross that cultural line.
For sure. For sure. Definitely, at least without like watch a YouTube video or tutorial or something. Like, just don't let them videotape you on your first try. Like, is it like this? Ooh, and then crack.
It's like some things should just not be on the gram.
Yeah.
All right. Now this next video made me laugh so hard when I first saw it. And I don't know if you're going to share the same fucked up sentiment that I do, but it's a mob of people who steal a dwarf out of a car.
A dwarf?
A dwarf. Like a little person.
Okay.
And what's funny to me is that I can't figure out if like he's famous, like this dwarf is famous and that's why everybody's losing their shit.
All right.
Or if they've just never seen a little person before.
Okay.
And this poor guy is horrified at what's going on.
You're saying he's horrified to be kidnapped?
Yeah.
I would be too. At any size.
And they're grabbing his dick.
What the
Like, did you see that?
Yeah.
They're just fondling this poor little guy.
Oh, shit. No one's stopping them? Okay.
No, and the driver is just filming him.
They hit him.
They just scoop his ass up. Oh, that poor guy. Look how fucking horrified he is.
At first, I was like, when I first saw it, I'm like, okay, he's famous. But then when they grabbed his dick, I'm like, okay, he's really famous. But then they like slapped him on the back of his head. And I was like, no, they might just think he's a magical being right now. Like,
They're like, where's my pot of gold, you little motherfucker?
Hey!
Oh my God. I've never seen people go that apeshit over something. It's almost like if they saw an alien land for the first time and everybody's just freaking
And
the
they
fuck
grabbed
out.
its dick.
And they grabbed its dick. It's like all the drawings that I've ever seen. You never have a dick. Let me see what's going on in those shorts.
That's funny.
It's like, have you ever seen that movie Paul?
Yeah.
Where that dude, he like walks up to him and he's like, spaceman nuts. And he like grabs his dick and he goes, get your fucking hands off my motherfucking balls. And he freaks out. Oh my God. So yeah, that was a dwarf getting kidnapped.
Yep. Just straight ransacked out that vehicle. No, the driver. They just videotaped it. They're like, you're getting taken out of this thing, guy. Oh my God.
He's like, I need to be somewhere, so I'm going to let them take you so I can be on my way.
Worst Uber experience ever for that little buddy.
Oh my God. I just want to know the context. Like I love World Star. World Star is where I get most of these videos from.
World Star's pretty good.
I love it. And so, but they never give the full context of what's going on. Sometimes you just see a video and you're like, what the fuck is happening? Like, there's got to be somebody there who was like, oh no, he was a famous little person and everybody was going apeshit. But no, it's just a dude getting fondled and kidnapped.
Just, hey, little dick, hey, I grabbed it, hey! Smack him on the back of his head, hey, look, he's still here,
Oh my God. All right. Now we're going to, I think they're Russian.
Okay.
Russian rednecks. Where this dude.
Wow, that's a fun.
This dude came across a crocodile.
Okay. In Russia? This is for sure Russia.
Maybe.
Okay.
I'm going off of like the language. So it could be. But
Okay.
it also could be fucking anywhere.
All right.
And he comes across a crocodile and he's very scared. And so he tries to get it to go away in the dumbest way possible. So let's see. And go. All right. Stupid shit. This is the type of thing you get with a podcast coming from you, coming to you from in my home.
What kind of Mickey Mouse production is this, huh?
Let's try this again.
I have to get my agent on the phone.
There we go. So,
Mom?
so.
Wow. 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 What I'm more surprised about is that he didn't try and put it in his teeth to do it. Wow. Wow. That is some top-notch thinking right there for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I've handled guns before. I don't know if you have.
I have.
I've been very conscious
Of the bullet end?
the bullets.
The bullet end of the gun? Yeah.
The fucking end your life part of the gun.
The only thing, I mean, better is if he had come back with like a full-on sword and then just, instead of grabbing it by the hilt, just grabbed it by the blade.
Yeah.
He's just like, my hands are bleeding. Just trying to smack it with the handle part of a sword.
Oh my God.
What a
This is
doofus.
the greatest thing I've ever
Maybe,
seen.
like, what? Was he trying to not kill it, maybe? Like...
Yeah. Yeah, and I didn't even think about that. It's like, if a crocodile is threatening you, you have a gun. Shoot it. Don't Davy Crockett it, you fucking asshole.
I'll kill a baby crocodile. I don't give a shit. I just fucking not gonna shoot myself in the hand.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what country that is. I kind of want to see that again.
Because it seems like Florida, Louisiana type behavior.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he shot himself in the thigh. You have a major artery in the thigh.
Your femoral artery.
Yeah. So, all I hope is that this dude bled out. Just in that swamp.
Before his semen could ever reach a human egg.
Yes. Oh, that's how you weed out the weak. Fucking asshole. I love it.
I just wish I could have heard what that other guy... I wish I could have heard what his friend said to him. It's got to be like, I told you.
What did I tell you?
What'd I tell you?
Oh man, that's when his buddy stopped fucking that dude's sister. He's like, "Oh, you got terrible genes. I can't go through with this."
Wild.
Amazing. And the last clip that I have is a news clip of a guy nicknamed the Snake Burglar.
This is surveillance video from a Riverside hair salon, and as you can see, the thief slithers across the floor like a snake. He's probably trying to avoid tripping the alarm's motion sensor, and it seems to have worked because that alarm never went off. Owner says he got away with a...
So far, this dude is slithering across the floor.
God damn it, though. God
Right?
damn it.
Right.
She said it.
Yeah.
Worked.
Not
Fucking worked.
trying not to trip the alarm, and it worked. If I was robbing a store with a guy and he got on the floor and started slithering,
Yeah.
I'm out.
Really?
Yeah, I'm just
No,
like,
you
what
don't
are we
know-
doing?
you don't know what you're doing. He's like, nah, man.
Yeah, and then I'd see him on the news the next week and go, "That hey, motherfucker pulled it off."
Didn't trigger any motion sensors. That's crazy. The thing about stealing, not that I've stolen a lot, but the thing about stealing is I think you'd be surprised like how, I mean, just even based off of like movies and stuff, like a lot of it is just like people just looking the other way, or it's like such a simple thing of just like, I just gotta do this little like,
Yeah.
it's never quite as complicated as like it's not Mission Impossible style like going down or anything. Like he's not
Yeah.
doesn't have some super suit on that's like bouncing the sensors away from me. Just had to crawl.
That's it.
to crawl.
Yeah, this isn't Ocean's 11. You just gotta crawl on the floor like an ass. You remember that old viral video with that like chubby dude? He has a little snake hat, and he goes, "I'm a snake. I'm a sneaky snake."
I do remember that one. Yeah.
That's all I think about is that's what's going through this guy's head while he's crawling on the floor. I'm a sneaky snake.
See, you see Spider-Man villains like like Snakehead, and then you think like that's silly. But then you see this, and you're like, man, if he just had a snake costume, that marketing.
Oh, that's great. That's like Home Alone when he would turn on the water and they're like the water bandits.
wet bandits?
The wet bandits.
No, Harry, don't you see we're the wet bandits?
Yeah. You gotta have a stick.
The safe containing several $1,000s, petty cash from the register, and hundreds of dollars worth of product. A local pizza place says it also had a snake burglar recently, likely the same guy.
Okay. Can you rewind it like a little bit? Like, can you rewind it to like, keep going. Keep going. I feel like, okay, like right there. And then let me see him coming up on.
Seems to have worked because that alarm never went off. Owner says he got away with a safe containing several $1,000s.
Is he wearing a mask
petty
or
cash
not?
I don't think so.
Are you kidding me? You have the foresight and the you're like, man, so smart. You're crawling, probably set up a whole obstacle course at his house to make sure he never raises above like 6 inches and then forgets to put on a mask?
Yeah. It's like even in this day and age with COVID, you got one laying around.
Dude.
Put on a surgical mask.
Dude, I mean, the motion sensor alarm, okay, but I mean, the cameras can see you, buddy.
And that's why I wouldn't rob anything with this guy.
Oh,
I'd be
that's what would throw me off is when he showed up in just his regular clothes from when he was hanging out at fucking a barbecue. He's got like just a regular hat and a shirt on and everything. Nothing burglar. No dark clothing, no mask. He's just like, yeah, man, I'm get this barbecue. I'm gonna go rob this place. No, you just crawl on your belly.
It's like even just
Perfect crime.
even with just pedestrians outside who may see you, if you're in all black, they might see something move and they're like, maybe that's just my mind playing tricks. But you have fucking Nikes
an orange hat,
and you're walking around, they're like, that's definitely a dude crawling on the floor right now.
Is that guy crawling on the floor?
But I mean, think about it. If you saw a dude crawling on the floor in a business,
Yeah.
what would you you wouldn't think it was being robbed. You're just like, what is that guy doing? Did he
Maybe.
lose something? Did he drop his earring and he's looking for it?
He's crawling all the way to his car.
Oh no, this poor guy. We should find his wheelchair.
That's silly. That's so silly.
Oh, I love it.
From the register and hundreds of dollars worth of product. A local pizza place says it also had a snake burglar.
That's the part that I love. A local pizza place said they also had a snake burglar. It's like, okay, you didn't.
I'm telling you, where is Spider-Man?
It's like you didn't come up with that on your own. Somebody showed you this video, and you're like, that fucking snake son of a bitch robbed my place too. Because if you see that on your security cameras, you don't go, he's a snake burglar. You go, who's this asshole crawling on my floor stealing my shit?
Recently, likely the same guy.
How funny would it be to find out he had no idea that he didn't set off the motion sensors, right? No idea that that was a benefit of crime. How funny would we find out we just never see him crawl up into a wheelchair and then he's just a paraplegic? And he's like, I don't know, wheelchair kind of hard to get in and out, so I just crawl. I just Lieutenant Dan it all the way over to the thing.
This kleptomaniac paraplegic who just needs to get it done.
Not gonna throw me in jail. I'm in a wheelchair.
Oh man. Yeah.
Have you stolen stuff before?
Yeah.
What's the craziest stuff you ever stolen?
I mean, what is the statute of limitations for?
Let me think before I incriminate myself.
It's got to be at least 7 years. So I think I'm all right.
Okay.
When I was a teenager, we used to break into houses.
Ooh.
Yeah, and rob them.
Houses that people lived in?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Straight B&Es,
in
huh?
Texas.
In
so
Texas.
I could have got my ass killed at any moment.
Yeah.
We used to do it all the time, man. It was fucked up.
What was the coolest thing you got? What was the best loot? What was the best haul?
Some of it was electronics.
Okay.
Is the easiest one. And then just cash laying around, which was always a good score. You know, if you went into their bedroom and they had fucking cash, you're like, here we go. Because I don't have to sell it. I don't have to find somebody to fucking do this for me. I just have cash now.
Okay.
Oh, it was terrible. I was a degenerate, man, when I was young.
Yeah, you were. Yeah, you were.
Dude. And it's at one time, I was with a gang of other degenerates, and we were kind of trying to figure out where we were going to go, what house. And then an old lady next door of the house we were trying to get into started yelling at us. And we freaked out, and we just kept yelling. It wasn't me. Somebody in the crew just yelled out, "Ding dong ditch." And then we just rang the doorbell and ran. And she still called the cops on us. Aww. And so when the cops came, everybody scattered. And then I made it to my house, maybe 10 minutes later, cops come knocking at my door and say, "Hey, we caught your buddy. He gave you up. And so we're here looking for, Antonio." I was like, "Oh, shit." And I never figured out who it was.
What?
Yeah.
Fucking right. Oh, man.
Because that's the worst thing is that he gave up my name and gave away where I lived.
What a punk.
And so the dude's just asking me, the cops questioning me, and I was just like, okay, here's the thing. If he knew that I was actually there, I'd be in handcuffs already.
Yeah.
So I just kept denying it. I was like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I've been here all night. And then my uncle comes to the door. He was living with us at the time. He comes to the door. He's like, "What the hell's going on?" The cop starts explaining to him, why he's there. And then my uncle, it's a badass dude, he was just like, "No, my nephew's been here with me all night." And I was like, hell yes. Hell yeah, man. Oh, man. But that, and what was fucked up is because when we ran, the cops started trying to chase certain people. All right. I have asthma, so I got winded really quickly. And so I had to stop running. So I hid behind an air conditioning unit on the side of a random house. And so I'm ducking down there, and I see the cop running down the street with his gun drawn.
Oh, shit.
That's when it was real to me.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, fuck. He doesn't know that we're kids, because I had to have been 13, 14 at the time.
Yeah.
I saw the gun. I was like, oh, he doesn't know that we're kids. and he ran down the street, and then I fucking cut across lawns and shit and made it home.
Nice.
But oh man, that was the day where I was like, I gotta stop doing what I'm doing because I'm gonna get shot in the street.
Yeah.
And I'm not black, so nobody's gonna give a fuck. Oh man.
Fucking A.
Yeah.
Nice.
I did crazy shit. What about you? You alluded to the fact that you stole shit.
I don't know. What have I stole? I used to, back in the day in middle school, I used to tell my mom that I was going to the library because she was never home. And so I could just like be like, hey, I'm going to go to the library after school and just like do schoolwork. And she was like, oh, it's my boy. It's my boy.
Look at him.
working on his schoolwork. And I just really just didn't want to be home with my two sisters. And so I'd go there and then I would meet up with some like real like bad friends.
Yeah.
One named Rocky, and then this girl I dated, and then we would go to Kmart and just steal cartons of cigarettes and gallons of alcohol because it was in the early 90s before they were doing like security stuff or anything. I was like, it was just in like a fridge and then like just like on an end cap somewhere where you could just like throw it in a backpack and just walk out with that shit.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I used to do that. And then I was doing that one day, and my mom apparently had to come looking for me at the library, didn't see me, was like asking everyone because my mom is like that. She doesn't care if she's bothering someone.
Yeah.
She's just like, hey, you seen this kid? And they'll be like, oh, no, what the fuck? And she'll ask everyone in the fucking library just to make a point. And then she was like, going around to the different like stores that were around there, and I just happened to be at an Alpha Beta, and which is a store that doesn't exist anymore, I think. And I was in there stealing candy bars, and I could hear her fucking voice, her fucking like, "Hey, have you seen this?" And I was like, "Oh, that's my mom." And I was like, Rocky, I gotta go. And he was like, what is it? I'm like, my fucking mom's here. And I dumped out the candy bars. And I just like, and I came around the fucking aisle like, oh, Mom, what are you doing here? And she immediately grabbed me by the ear and dragged me to where the manager was in his little like side office. And was like, you see this kid? And he was like, why? Was he stealing? She was like, no. And I was like,
Thank God.
Thank God. Thank God she didn't see me stealing because she would have said yes. But she was like, no, but if you ever see him again, you call the police and you have him arrested.
Jesus.
He's not to be anywhere else but his home.
Oh, man.
And then she just drugged me out by the ear. And then Rocky was like following behind me and like giggling. And then she turned around and was like, are you his friend? And I was like, no, I don't know him. She's like, that is your friend, isn't it? And then she like went up to this kid who was like way taller than she was, and she was like, I'll have you arrested too, you little piece of shit. And he just like laughed at her, and then she, oh my God. And then
I mean that's the time where strangers would still beat a kid.
oh yeah, in public, no problem.
It's like, even if it's not your kid, they're like, it takes a village, and they'll beat a fucking strange child.
So I did that. Let's see. What else? In high school, I can't talk about that one, can I? That's crazy. All right.
How long ago was high school?
It was a while ago. In high school, for extra money, I knew these very grown-up adults who, like, ran, like, a bookie house.
Okay.
And, like, they lived somewhere else, like, with their wives, and they had this house that they ran, like, a bookie business out of. And they took bets and everything out of there. And then me and another friend were chilling at this house, and we would stay there sometimes. And they were like, this guy that would stay there the most was like, hey, do you want to make some extra money? And we were like, yeah. And he's like, all right, I got a job for you. This lady has a car. It's brand new BMW. She doesn't want it. She wants the insurance money from it. So I need you to go pick it up from this parking lot at the mall, the Palm Desert Mall, and then you're going to drive it all the way down to Mexico, right?
Wow.
And then to Tijuana. You're going to get out, leave the keys in the ignition, and then walk over the board. One of us had to drive it was like a 2-car thing. So we had to drive, right? And then park the car and then get in the thing. And so then you're going to walk back over the border. Then you're going to drive home.
Yeah.
All right. Makes sense. Right. $300 each. We're like, all right, not bad. Right. So then we Rochambeaued for who got to drive the car, and then he got to drive the fucking car. And I was like, God damn it.
Yeah.
So then, because it didn't make sense to keep getting in and out of it to take turns driving it. We're we just once we get in it, we're driving. We're done.
All the way.
So we went to the Palm Desert Mall, found the car. It's open. We get in. Very nice BMW. Brand new BMW. This is the time of OnStar and when navigation just really first started. It was 98 or something like that.
Okay.
And so it's real nice, real fancy. I'm like, all right, keys were in the visor like in a movie, right? Fucking, all right, cool. Fucking start it up. Fucking, I get in fucking my car. Fucking, we're driving to Mexico, and the whole thing was that we had to get there that night and leave it and everything, so that the next day the lady could be like, hey, I got drunk, I had to leave my car in the parking lot, and then someone fucking stole it. So we drive all the way to Mexico. We fucking we park. I get in the car now, and then I get to drive it just over the border. That's it.
Yeah.
And then we get out of the car, leave the keys in the ignition. We go to a bar real quick, see some titties, and then walk back over the border, and then get back in the car. We drive home, right? All right, get our $300. We're like, all right.
It all went smooth.
Okay. Look at that. We're fucking super criminals. God damn, we're so good at this, right? We fucking wiped everything inside the car and everything. No fingerprints.
I've seen Law and Order.
I know how this works. Fucking 2 weeks later, right? We go back to that house to go smoke some weed. Me and my friend, and the dude's like, hey, what happened? And we're like, what do you mean what happened? He's like, yeah, what happened? You're supposed to make sure that car got stolen. And I was like for real? I was like, no, yeah, we did everything he said. We fucking did. We got the car, we left the keys in the thing. Yeah. He's like, yeah, they found it. They gave it back to her. I was like, shut the fuck up. Apparently, someone found it, keys in ignition, and instead of taking it to a chop shop and getting rid of it, someone's like, hijo le chingao, everyone get in. We're driving over the border to Texas.
Holy shit.
And they drove over the border to Texas, and we're hanging out in Texas. She reported it stolen. Fucking Texas pulled them over.
Oh, man. That's amazing.
Found your car.
Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, that's unlucky lottery. 1 in a million.
Unlucky fucking So he's like, all right, guys. You got one more chance here.
Oh, God.
He's like, same thing, right? I got another friend. Can't do it with her now. She fucking same thing. Yeah. Another friend. You're gonna go to this other place, right? Get the car, but this time he's like, I don't care where you take it. You have to destroy it. You have to absolutely fucking demolish it. So I'm like, all right. So then we go. We get the car, right? We drive it to fucking Blythe. Okay, super nice car. And we decide we're going to go out to the desert and just do donuts. So the different, it's the same car. It's the same BMW, I'm pretty sure. We take the same BMW, we take it out, and we're just going to do donuts in it, right? So we're fucking taking turns around the desert doing it. We're going up the mountain, everything. My friend's driving it. At some point, he hits a bump, and we go up in the air, and we just start coming straight down at an angle into blackness. And I'm like, we're dead. That's it.
This was my life.
And it just goes shunk. and it stops. We just like landed in a ditch diagonal. So it's just diagonal. The airbags go off, right?
Yeah.
And we're just like, whoa, like pushing down the airbags. Gee, that was so crazy. Like, wow. And we're like, all right. So we had this whole plan, right? We had friends come follow us and everything. This whole plan, whole toolkit. We're going to like strip it for like the speakers and everything.
Yeah.
Whole plan, right? We're like, woo. All right, woo, that was great. I guess we're done driving this thing. All right, let's get ready to strip it. And OnStar comes on.
Oh.
And we're like, what's happening? Like, we don't know how OnStar works. None of our cars have fucking OnStar in them.
Yeah.
And it just starts ringing, and then it's like, crash detected. And we're like, yeah, we fucking crashed it. And then a person got on and was like, hello? And we were like, oh shit. And so we just started like punching and kicking the OnStar, trying to get it to stop. And then it was like, hello? We're like, oh shit. And so we just like disconnected the battery. We're like,
Nice.
all right,
I wouldn't have thought of that. I'd have just been panicking in the front seat, just going, nobody say anything.
We got out. Well, because we got out, we're like, what do we do? And someone was like, disconnect the battery. We're like, fuck yeah. So we just disconnected the battery. And then we're like, all right, let's light this bitch on fire. Fuck it. We're not even like, let's get the fuck out of here right now. We're not going to be here taking parts out of the car when the cops show up. When OnStar's like, yeah, we geolocated them right here. So we just like poured gasoline in it, put a gasoline rag in the tank, and then we lit the gasoline rag, and we're like, all right, go.
Yeah.
We're like running away like it's gonna blow up, and I fucking fell and skinned my knee like a fucking dork. And I got up and I was like, is it gonna blow up? And they're like, I don't think it is. And we just watched it burn, and then it did like a little blow up,
Like
but
a
not
little
like a little whoosh, and we're like, all right. And then we were like, we can go home now.
Oh, that's awesome.
And and then we're like, we came back and the guy was like, is it destroyed? We're like, oh, it's fucking.
It fucking better be.
We're like, did anything go wrong? No. No. That didn't tell him. OnStar definitely didn't come on.
Somebody from the radio might be calling you. I don't understand how it works.
I mean, OnStar definitely probably was like, yeah, that's probably stolen.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, man, that's awesome. One time I was with my buddy out in the middle of nowhere, Texas, and he was working on his truck, you know, so he's under it. He's doing whatever the fuck he's doing. I'm just standing by him, you know, because I didn't know much about cars. So I'm just, you know, conversation, you know, keeping him company. And then at one point, he just goes, oh, shit. I go, what? He goes, there's a fire under here. And I go, what? He goes, I don't know what happened, like, but the grass lit on fire. And then the next thing he knows is he put the fire out and got from under the truck and looked, and I was like 50 yards down the road. And he just throws up his hands. He's like, what the fuck, man? I was like, I'm not sticking around for that. What did you want me to do?
A friend did that to me once where like I was driving and then we were driving over train tracks and the car died. And I was like, oh shit, the car died. And then I was like, hey, do you want to help me and the guy had already fucking gotten out of the fucking car. And I was like, you asshole, there's not even a train coming.
Yep, that would have been me, man. Like, I'm not sticking around for that shit.
I was all, all right, well, you want to, what the fuck?
And my buddy, like, I'm close with him to this day. Every now and then, he'll text me with something like that. Like, hey, you remember that one time when you bailed on me when my car was on fire? I'm like, yep. And this other time, it was the same truck. We were partying at my dad's house, and then we had to drive like 3 blocks to my sister's house where I was staying. And so him and I got drunk. And so we started walking out to the car, and I'm like, or he was telling me, he was like, I can't drive, man. He was like, I'm too fucked up. I'm drunk as shit. Like, I'm just as drunk as he is. And I'm like, I got it. And so I take the keys and we start going. Like I said, it's like 3 blocks. But every time we were coming to a turn, he'd be like, hey, man, punch it. Fishtail the truck. First 2 times, I was like, no, man. Like, I'm responsible. I got this. And then the last time, he was like, no, go for it. I'm like, all right, fuck it. I punch it, spin the wheels, I take the turn, and it fishtails. Next thing I know, I'm in somebody's front yard.
Oh, boy.
And I brake, like, literally a foot from their house. Like, I almost hit their house. and then I hit reverse, backed out of their fucking yard, and then slowly crept to my sister's place. The next day, we start driving back, like back that same way. We saw deep tire marks in their front lawn. And now it's like literally every 6 months, this dude will text me. He goes, "You remember when you almost hit a house, dick?" Like, yep.
People came out like, what the fuck?
Oh, yeah. I can only imagine.
Our yard.
Oh, man. I just think of the shit that I got away with when I was a kid, man. Like, if I hit that house,
Yeah.
I'd have been done, you know? Like, that's a long time in jail.
When I was real little, I like started a fire that probably could have been pretty serious. It ended up on the news.
Oh, wow.
It was like at this, oh God, this is like 4th grade, maybe, like 3rd grade, maybe. And, it's like 3rd grade. And I was hanging out with a buddy. And then we were in the apartment complex, and there was just one section that was like gated off and had all this like tall grass in it. And it was just clearing, like you couldn't really see it from like the parking lot. We're like, oh, this is our hangout spot.
Nice.
And then dumb me was like, you know what's going to be so cool is like we should have a campfire here. It's going to be so cool. And then he was like, yeah. So I got matches from my fucking mom. I got a potato, hot dogs, and tortillas because I was like, yeah, we'll put them all on sticks and we'll just roast them all over the fire. It's going to be amazing. And then we went and like there was a little clear space of dirt in the middle of all this tall, dry brush. And I was like, all right, like, I think this is how you do it. And I got these like little lava rocks because like lava rocks were big back then.
Yeah.
And I just put them in a circle, these very little lava rocks. Because I was like, I think this is how I saw it in a cartoon. It's like rocks just go in a circle, keeps the fire inside. And I fucking, all right, I'll grab some of this dry brush right here, put it right here. And I was like, all right, just light it on fire right now. Just be a little fire. And it fucking like lit on fire. And immediately like a little gust of wind took an ember and just lit that thing on fire. And we were like, oh no.
Yeah.
And so we had to jump the fence again. And then he was like, what do we do? I'm like, we got to get water. So we ran back to my house and we're getting these little cups of water from the faucet and then running back the thing. And then I was like, I don't think it's going to do it. I was like, you know what? We just pretend this never happened.
We just let nature take its course.
And so we heard fire trucks. We were like, all right, that happened. We just don't even talk about it. And then later on, I was at home, like just coloring. And then my mom was watching the news and it was like, fire today. My mom was like, did you know this? I was like, I've been inside the house all day. Why would I be out there? That's so weird.
Oh, man. That's fucking
I
wild.
was so scared. I remember I was so scared. I was like, please don't mention the potato, the hot dog, or the tortillas. Because I left them there.
We found food. We're looking for the chorizo bandits.
We're looking for someone trying to make a potato hot dog burrito.
Oh, that's fucking wild, man. Yeah, I mean, when I first moved to Texas, I lived with my uncle and my cousins who were around my age, and there was like a wooded area right behind the house that we used to go in, you know, fuck around, make fires and stuff.
Now, are these Mexican or white cousins?
Mexican.
Okay.
I don't know any of my white cousins. I was never close to that side.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys go to the place where you do your fire stuff.
Yeah. And then one time we noticed that my uncle's truck, it had the, like, it's the bed of the truck, but it had that cover that goes over the top. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So we would open the little tailgate, and he had a gas can in there. And we were like, this is awesome. We can't take the gas can because they might notice. But we'll dip whatever we're lighting on fire, get it soaked with gas, and then take it out and burn it. But it was windy. So we're like, okay, just dip it in the gas can and then light it under there. And then we'll take it out and build the fire. And then one of the dipshit cousins took it straight out of the gas and just lit it and lit the tip of the gas can on fire.
Oh, boy.
And we are freaking out. We don't know what to do. Nobody wants to grab it. Nobody wants to do anything. So they just run in and get my older cousin. He's like 5 years older than me. And they're like, what the fuck? There's a fire. What do we do? He grabs a gas can and just throws it into the wooded area.
Yeah.
And then like 2 seconds later, it just goes poof. We're like, oh my God. And then we all went inside and properly got our asses beat by my dad and my uncle. Oh, man. It was fucking amazing. The life of pyromaniacs.
The life of pyromaniacs.
I love fire to this day.
Yeah?
Yeah. Sometimes if I have like loose pieces of paper in my pocket, I'll put them in my ashtray and I'll just light it on fire.
Some people just want to see the world burn.
Yeah, that's me. And I want to be the one who starts that fire. Oh, man. But one thing, like, I know you don't drink. Like
I don't drink.
You used to, though, right?
I used to drink.
Okay. And did it become a problem, and that's why you had to back off?
No. Okay. I wish. I never got to the point where it became a problem. It sounds fun. It sounds fun to make that journey.
I mean, it's not because I have a problem, and I just get through my day.
It's only becomes a problem when you don't have any more. No, I have like heart stuff. I have like heart stuff going on with me that it does not allow me to drink because drinking alcohol is not good for heart stuff. So I don't drink. I used to smoke cigarettes. I love cigarettes. When I see you smoking, I'm like, oh, it looks so good. Tell me about it.
Did you ever like get really hard into any drugs or anything?
Mostly just weed, but like I've tried almost all drugs except for crack and what else? Crack. Never done PCP. Never done what else? Is that it? I think that's it.
What about heroin?
No, I never done heroin. Never done heroin. Never done heroin, crack, or PCP. I knew it was another one. It was another one I never did.
Meth?
I've done meth
really?
For a month straight. For a whole month. I started doing it at my friend's house. He was into it. And then it was like a real weird night because like he was like, yeah, man, like we should like hang out. And then we're like, we'll smoke meth. And we smoked meth and his girlfriend's there. And then we ate this terrible Little Caesars pizza had tomatoes on it, and I don't know if the pizza was terrible so much as like we were watching Faces of Death at the same time.
Nice.
So I'm like biting into like this like very squishy like pizza. It's a real weird night, high on meth, and I was like, man, this stuff is great. We should do more. And then so I got some more from him, and then I was doing it and doing it and doing it. Wow. And then I was at my mom's house. And I remember I like had like the bulb all ready to go and everything. And then I like used to like break it up over this one part like in the garage. And I was like bending down to see if I like missed any like little sprinkles of like meth I could throw into my bulb. And I just caught this image of me in the mirror where I just fucking looked like Gollum from Lord of the Rings. And I was just like, I gotta stop this.
Yeah. This might not be good.
I gotta stop doing this. And so I stopped doing it like after a month. I was like, that might be the end of it. And then my friend was like, hey man, if you want to like, I was like, no, I think I'm good.
I'm all methed out.
I think I'm all methed out.
Oh, that's interesting.
I've always been like that. I've always been like, I'll try a drug, like a hard drug, and then not be addicted. Like I'll get to a point where I could tell. Like, I think I'm self-aware enough where I'm like, all right, I've reached the point where like it becomes a problem now. Yeah. So I could just, I'm good about just quitting stuff, I think.
Okay. That's good. That's a good fucking, little piece of yourself to have.
Yeah, that's why it was real easy to quit cigarettes and alcohol and everything like that. Like,
because I'm the exact opposite. It's everything that I know is going to destroy me. I'm hooked on it because it's the best. You know, the only one that I was able to quit was morphine because I was on it for a while. But then I would notice, and it took me a while to notice that when I don't have it, I feel like I'm sick because I would go through the withdrawals. And so then I would take more to feel better. And I noticed how I was on that pattern. And I was like, okay, I just have to power through it. I just got to, I got to ride out the sickness, you know?
Where do you even buy morphine from?
That's the funny thing, is I never bought it. A buddy of mine, close friend of mine, has an uncle who's an amputee. So he got it prescribed to him.
Okay.
And my buddy would steal it from him and give it to me for free. I got
For how long?
a while. I can't remember.
Wow.
I think it's like a year or two.
Oof.
Where it was like real hard every single day.
A whole year where that poor amputee was like, you know,
My leg hurts.
and I seem to be out today. I'm just out of morphine today, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
It was fucking wild. And there have been times where I was at a Chinese restaurant with the girl that I was dating at the time. Fucked up. Couldn't eat, you know, because I'm fucked up. And then just in the middle of it, I had to puke. And so I just stood up, didn't even address her at all. I just stood up, made a beeline to the bathroom, puked my fucking egg drop soup into the fucking toilet, sat there, and then slowly made my way back to the table. And then she goes, "Are you okay?" I was like, "Oh, yeah, I just had to pee real bad." So I went over there. She was like, "Okay." Didn't touch the rest of my food and just drank water the whole time. Like, because she was this really, like, she was a good kid, you know. And I never told her that I was fucked up, ever. She didn't even like me smoking weed, but she got used to it. But with morphine, she'd have been like, "What the fuck?" So I had to hide it from her. And this is the same chick that I fell asleep eating her pussy and all this shit. Like, I have a bit about it now. But it's like, I hit it real hard because it was free.
Yeah.
Like,
that makes sense.
yeah.
That makes for a whole year.
Yeah, maybe
You
even...
lucky son of a bitch. I'd be addicted to morphine too for a little bit.
It was the best, though. I'm telling you. It's like, I've done... Like, I had a coke problem for like a month. It was like your meth thing. It was like about a month, you know, got expensive, so I stopped doing it. But I've never liked uppers. You know, I'm a downer guy. And so, but with the morphine, like, I hit that shit hard.
Yeah.
And then it was the toughest thing to get off of. Aside from cigarettes. Cigarettes, I still struggle with. It's the only thing that I regret ever getting into, you know.
I get it.
Because I tried it the first time when I was like 13.
Yeah.
And then now it's stuck with me this whole time. And I'll quit for like a year. And then somehow I find my way back into smoking cigarettes.
Yeah. I quit for a while. I was smoking cigarettes pretty consistently from like middle school on. And then I had my last cigarette in a pack the day or the night before my first son was born. And so I remember I smoked the last cigarette and I was like, "Oh, I'll go get some more cigarettes tomorrow." And I went to bed, and then my wife at the time woke me up and was like, I either peed the bed or my water broke. And I remember I got up and I walked over to the wet spot and like took a big whiff of it like in my face. I was like, "Yeah, your water broke."
And then you said, "Ew, get out of my house, bitch."
I said, "I don't care whose baby you have right now. That was disgusting." So we went, and then we had my first son, and then I remember it was like time to go like get stuff from the house, and I went, and I was like, I could go get cigarettes right now. And I was like, I don't want my baby, the first thing he smells from me. Like, I want to imprint my smell on him. I don't want to imprint, like, cigarette on him. And so I didn't get any cigarettes. I just got the stuff from the house, went, took care of everything, and I just forgot to smoke, basically. Damn. And then it was just like, I guess I don't need to smoke. And then I quit for 3 years. 3 years I didn't smoke cigarettes.
Damn.
And then I moved here, and everybody smokes.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I was like, I don't want to smoke again. But then I was like, I'll just get a pipe. I'll get a little tobacco pipe, and I'd be packing it, and people were like, "You're silly. You just smoke cigarettes." I'm like, no, it's cool. It's cool. I just a little puff of tobacco right here. Yeah. And I was like, this is dumb. This is the dumbest.
You look like an ass.
Fucking pipe culture is so silly.
Yeah.
And so then I was like, all right, I'll just smoke a cigar, right? I'll just smoke like a cigarilla, like a Swisher or something. When you guys are smoking, I'll take a little, and I'll just put it out. If you're like, you look real dumb right now. Those are for blunts. Those are not for smoking. Right. And I'm like, no, it's better than just smoking. And then I got to the point where I was like, let me bum a cigarette. And people are like, all right, I'll give you a cigarette. I'd be smoking a cigarette and be bumming cigarettes. And then it got to the point where people were like, you're going to have to buy these yourself
Eventually.
one day. And I was like,
You're gonna have
I guess I smoke cigarettes now, don't I?
You're gonna have to be a big boy and buy your own pack.
So then I smoked for a while out here until I got diagnosed with heart failure, and then I was like, all right, I guess I'm done smoking.
Yeah, my dad was the same way. I mean, he smoked for fucking like 30, 40 years, something like that. And then he went to the doctor one day and they're like, this is gonna kill you and
You're
you gotta
done.
stop. And he just quit. Never touched it again. And then he's always given me shit for it. And he's like, you smoke these things, they're going to catch up to you. I'm like, I know. I was like, it's just really hard. And he goes, what's hard about it? I did it for 30 years and I just stopped one day. I was like, all right, everybody's not like you, dick.
We all have our own journeys, Dad.
Yeah, my dad's always been like that. Just like, I did it.
Yeah.
What's the big deal? I'm like, it's hard.
You like your dad?
Now I do.
Oh.
Him and I are on good terms now.
Yeah.
But it only happened in like the last year or two where we kind of, reconnected. But for a while I didn't talk to him, just because it was one of those things. I could go into the all mushy whatever, but he was just a hard ass, old school Mexican guy. Like he didn't want to put up with any of my shit.
For sure.
He kicked me out of the house when I was 16.
Yeah?
And because I had weed on me. And he's just like, I'm not dealing with this. Get the fuck out. And I was homeless for 2 months before my older brother picked me up. And I lived with him. Not once in those 2 months did my dad ever reach out to me. Like, he didn't care what happened. And so that put a big stink on our relationship for a while, But we've slowly, figured it out. He's in his 50s now. And he realizes more how he was back in the day. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so it's one of those, people go through a midlife crisis. Like, that's kind of where he's at, where he, like,
oh my God, I'm going to die actually someday.
Exactly.
Hold on. Let me reevaluate everything I thought was important.
Yeah. And pretty much every one of his kids either got pregnant or left the house early. And so at a certain point, you got to go, okay, what the fuck was I doing? And I think that's where he's at now. So it makes it a little easier talking to him,
Okay.
What about you?
Ooh, my parents are terrible. I come from a long line of pieces of shit, Stoggy.
I know what you mean.
Long line of pieces of shits. I don't talk to my dad. The last time I really said anything to him was like a few years ago. It was like I just found him on social media and just messaged him and said, hey, man, you're a piece of shit and you're a coward and you hit women and children and you drink too much. And, it's good that you're religious because guess what? You're going to burn in hell. And then he just blocked me. Didn't say anything.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing to get blocked by your own dad.
All right. Trolled my dad. Did pretty good. No, yeah, that guy pulled a gun on me. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That guy fucking, that guy real piece of shit. I lived with him in 7th grade. I was having real bad problems with my mom. And I was like, I'm going to go live with my dad. And she was like, you fucking dummy. Go live with your dad. And I was like, no, this is what I literally said to my mom. I said, no, it's cool. He doesn't hit with the belt anymore. He hits with slippers. So it's like way softer now. That was my, you'll see, bitch. You'll see. He'll hit me with a slipper, not the belt. And she was like, all right, go see. And so I called my dad. I was like, can I go live with you? He's like, sure. It's going to be different here. And I was like, no, yeah. It's fine. Like, as long as I have to deal with mom. He's like, yeah, your mom's a real piece of shit. I was like, she is a piece of shit. Got on a plane, moved to Oklahoma, Lawton, Oklahoma. And I lived with my dad for a whole year. I did 8th grade in Oklahoma. And it was, about 10% good. There was some fishing. There was some fishing in there. It was like nice. Anytime I could just sit next to him and it was just quiet, I think it was good. About 10%, but it was about 90% awful.
Yeah.
Awful. We had a dog that he had gotten when I was in 5th grade. And he'd had his 8th grade now. Like 3-4 years now he's had this dog, Lucky. And when I moved in,
ironic, isn't it?
Right. he would keep us up at night. Sometimes he'd be howling, trying to get out of the backyard. And then sometimes he would escape, and the fucking neighbors would fucking have to bring it. Hey, you're lucky got out again. And my dad would go out in the middle of the night and beat the fucking shit out of this dog, trying to get it to stop. Fucking trying to. It's like, well, do you think maybe the dog's just
trying to get out of this pain?
Terrified of you, like. He knows he could just maybe get the fuck out of here. Like, so then I told that to my dad, and he was like, "Oh, you think that's what it is, huh?" And I was like, "Maybe." And instead of being like, "All right, maybe I don't beat the dog," he's like, "Okay, maybe I take it out to the mountains and just let it go then." And I was like, "You wouldn't do that." He's like, "Oh, I wouldn't do that." And I came home one day and I was like, "Lucky." He's like, "No lucky today." Actually, my dad sounds like Scarface. He's like, "No lucky today." Sorry, I took him out to the mountains. Let him go. Let that little doggy go. Look at you, real lucky now, ain't he? That was my dad. And then, so that happened. And then, I don't know. It was like pretty much like near the end of everything, where things were getting to like a fever pitch of badness. And then we got into it about there's clothes on my floor, and he was like, "Alberto, pick up your clothes right now." And I was like, "It's fine, like it's just a little messy, like my clothes can be on the floor." He's like, "Oh no, in my house you don't do that here." And I was like, "You know what?" And I started to like cry, and I was like, "You just get the fuck out of my room then." And he didn't like that. This guy threw me on my bed and proceeded to start choking me out. And he was like, I told you, you better stop it right now. Stop crying right now. I'll fucking kill it. And I was like, first you get the money, then you get the power. And he was like, what are you saying?
You think I'll stop choking you because so says so?
And so then I didn't stop crying. I was like, I'll show you. And then he went and got his service pistol, because he was in the army.
Yeah.
Got his fucking service pistol, put it right at me. And was like, stop crying. I was like, yeah, man, totally. Fucking my problem.
Yeah.
My bad. And then he was like, okay. And then like, dude, the police came. Like I called like this like youth pastor that I knew, and he called the police, and then they came.
Damn.
And this is after I got the gun pulled out on me. And this is how like backwards, like kind of rednecky where I live. Like it's just like the cop came and was all right, what's the problem? And then the youth pastor trying to tell him like, dude, he's in there fucking like, you know, threatening this fucking kid's life with a gun and everything. And so I was so scared. I was in my room. My dad goes out to go talk to the cop, and they're talking, and my dad's just like, you know how kids are, you know, like, you know, they just don't listen to you, you know. And then the cop was like pretty much just agreeing with him. And then I remember I was like, this cop's not going to do anything. And so I came out probably a little snotty, probably a little kid-like, and I was like, it's me. I'm the one that called the police. And they were both like, shut up. And I was like, huh? And then the cop was like, yeah, looks like maybe you should have just hit him harder. And then was like, fantastic. Go back inside. I was like, oh boy. And so I went back inside, and then the cop was like, yeah, I don't see any problem here, and left. And then my dad came back in and was like, if I didn't have work in the morning, I'd fucking beat the shit out of you. Yeah. And he's like, go to bed or I'm going to call in sick tomorrow. And I was like, okay. And so I hatched this whole plan in my head that I knew I was going to do. So we went to sleep. We got up. The next morning I was like, hey, Dad, what's up? Like, totally like nothing had happened. Like, all right, get ready for school. Brush my teeth and everything, eat some food. And then the routine was I would leave first, like school was close enough I could walk, and then he would go to work after me. So I'm like, all right, have a good day at work. And he's like, okay. And then I left, and then I hid behind this giant tree in the neighborhood and just watched and waited for him to drive away. And once he drove away, I went back to the house, got on the phone, called 911. And then 911, and then a police officer came, and I just was like, you got to get me the fuck out of here. He's going to kill me. Yeah. And it was like, what? I was like, he's got a gun in here right now. And I showed the cop the gun. The cop was like, all right, let's go. Yeah. And I was in a shelter for 2 weeks. I was in a kid shelter with like homeless kids and abused kids, all kind of shit. And then I I remember my dad came and saw me the day before I was supposed to leave. He brought like a little box of not even all my shit, just like He-Mans and some dumb shit that I had in my room. And he was like, okay, here's your stuff. And I was like, this is it. He's like, yeah, this is all that fit in the box. And I was like, okay. And I was like, well, just so you know, there's like a counselor in there. And I was like, just so you know, Dad, you're still my dad. I still love you. And I went to hug him, and he did me one of these, like threw his arms out. So like I couldn't complete the hug. Yeah. And he was like, I don't ever want to talk to you or your pinche mom ever again. And I was like, okay. And then he left, and even the counselor was like, I am so sorry. He's like, I've never seen that before.
Some little white lady who's like, oh my
God. That's brown kids. Tough. And then I got on a plane and went back to my mom. And the second I got off the plane, my mom said two things. She said, you're fat. And she said, I told you so.
Yep. Oh, man. Oh, man. Well, that's been another episode of What Makes Us Comics. Oh, man. That's how you raise a comedian.
That's my dad. That's my pops. My mom, she put me in juvenile hall. Yep.
Oh,
got
really?
me kicked out of the my first school musical, my first school play. Yep.
Damn.
Yep. I was in school, and my friend Joey, he was like, "Hey man, we're gonna do an assembly. We're all gonna dance." My friend, his I have a female friend. Her partner can't do it. She still wants to be in the assembly. Can you come after school and practice so that you can be in the assembly tomorrow? Awesome. I'm like getting into theater. Like I'm in the fucking school. Can we curse on this? I don't know. I'm just kidding. I'm
pretty sure I dropped a cunt right after this thing started.
Nice. I like 45 minutes in. So I was in the school play and everything. I was like feeling like pretty hot shit. I was like, not gonna be in the fucking school assembly. I was like that kind of kid where I like to do like stuff like that. Yeah. And so I was like, yeah, I'll totally do it. So I committed to that. And then last period I had theater. I'm in theater, and then my little sister walked into the class right before school ended and was like, hey, Mom has a friend picking us all up to take us home. And I was like, ooh, sorry, sis. You go tell the friend I'm in a school assembly tomorrow. I have to practice tonight to dance. I will call Mom later to come pick me up if I can't get a ride.
Yeah. Could you hold that thought?
I totally can.
I'm pissed so bad. I'm so
You're
sorry.
so funny.
I got the bladder of a gerbil.
That's cool. I can smoke this bowl and tell the rest of the story.
My bad.
No worries.
I was invested in the story. I just couldn't concentrate. I was going to piss myself. So your sister tells you that the friend is here, and you tell her...
My mom's friend is here to pick us all up from school. I tell my sis, you got to tell the friend, I'm in a assembly thing. I'm dancing. Yeah. You know, I'm doing an extracurricular activity. Tell the friend, I'm busy. I'll call Mom later. I don't know what my sister actually told the friend, because my friend dropped off my sisters at the house and then called my mom and was like, yeah, I mean, I'm not responsible for your son. And then my mom was like, what do you mean? Like, I don't know, he's doing whatever. He didn't want to get picked up or whatever. So my mom was pissed. Damn. Pissed. So she was a teacher. She's in her classroom working, doing whatever teacher stuff she was doing, and then just like fester, just fucking just obsessing, just like, oh, I'm gonna beat this fucking kid's
just
ass.
Failing everybody there. Just this motherfucker.
I have no idea. I'm doing the Charleston in a fucking gymnasium, just like fucking with this girl who's very pretty. I'm very excited. I'm like, oh, this is a friend that needs a dance partner? Like, having the time of my freaking life in my PE clothes, right? Because we're going to get a little sweaty, so everyone was told to like put their PE clothes on and everything. I rehearsed the dance. I learned. Everyone's like, hey, you're actually like, pretty good. It's going to be a good assembly tomorrow. I'm like, all right, cool. Say goodbye to everyone. We go back to Joey's house, right? And I'm still in my PE clothes. and we're eating spaghetti, right? And Joey's telling me like funny jokes and stuff like that. He was like super funny. Yeah. And I call my mom, I leave a message. I'm like, hey mom, I'm at this address. Like, come get me when you get a chance. Like, I was at a school assembly and everything. Like, let me know. So then we're talking or whatever, we're hanging out. And then like maybe 15 minutes after that phone call, I just hear, and Joey's like, what the fuck is that? I'm like, oh, my mom's here.
Oh no.
And I was just like, get myself all like, all right, let's try positive attitude. Let's maybe just try and keep the energy up. And I open the door. I'm like, hey mom, what's going on? Like, good to see you. Like, man, Joey just told me this joke. And she's like, get in the fucking car. I'm like,
all right.
okay, bye Joey, see you later. And she was like, he's not fucking ever allowed ever to fuck again. And Joey was like, whatever. Like, I fed him, just so you know. Have a good night. And so I get in the car. I'm like, what is wrong? She's like, listen, when I fucking send a friend to fucking come pick you up, you don't embarrass me like that. You fucking get in the fucking car. And I was like, I told Nicole I had a fucking, like, an assembly. It was like a school thing. So I don't give a fucking fuck. And she just proceeded to yell at me for the whole 30-minute car ride back home. Just non-stop. Just, nah. And I was like, Jesus Christ. So I don't say anything. I don't say anything the whole 30 minutes. We get home. I get out of the car. She's still like, oh, I'll fucking, And if I'm just like, Mom, I get it. And she's like, no, fuck you. I'm like, no, Mom, I seriously get it. You don't have to keep yelling at me. Yeah. I'm going to sleep. She's like, you're not fucking going to sleep. You're not fucking sitting on the couch and fucking hear me more now. And I was like, no, I ain't. And I fucking proceed to throw the couch into the fucking wall. And she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, fuck you, bitch. And I fucking knock over a lamp and I'm like, what are you gonna do now? And this lady, my youngest sister, Veronica, she was in the mental hospital that's out there. It was called Charter Hospital for like 3 months. She tried to hang herself on the jungle gym equipment in like 4th or 5th grade.
Wow.
Yeah. So they fucking locked her up for 3 months. And that was my mom's favorite threat was you'll go to Charter just like Veronica did, because Veronica has some stories about Charter.
Yeah.
Me and the other sister were like, all right, we can go in there.
Yeah.
So she was like, I'll send you to Charter right now. And my mom like went to grab me. And I just fucking pushed her. I just straight up fucking 14 years old. Just get off me, you fucking bitch. Yeah. And then she was like, huh, you fucked up now. I was like, I don't give a shit. Going to bed. I go to bed, right? About an hour later, I get woken up to some knocking. Mr. Rivera, can you come outside? I'm like, who the fuck is this?
What grade am I in? I'm a Mr. Rivera.
Come out, still in my PE clothes. I'm like, what's happening? It's the police. They're like, we need you to come step out front. So they take me outside the house to the fucking front door, in front of the front door. And they're like, tell us what happened. I'm like, what do you mean what happened? Like, we heard you got in a fight tonight with your mom. And I was like, yeah. And I'm thinking, in my 14-year-old child brand, thinking, I'm going to tell these guys what's up. And they're going to be like, you fucking bitch. How could you even?
Yep.
And I tell them the whole thing. I'm like, I was in it. It's for school. It's for school. Why would she be so mad? I don't understand. Like, and she yelled at me the whole way here. And she wouldn't stop yelling at me. And I was like, I know I made a mess. I'll clean it up and everything. And I was like, not even thinking anything of that. And I was like, you know, I just want to go to bed, you know, I just want to go to bed. I was sleeping just now. Like, yeah. Did you hit your mom? And I was like, I didn't hit her. And they're like, no, you did something, right? I was like, well, she tried to grab me. She said she was going to put me in a mental hospital for being in a school assembly. And I pushed her off me. And they're, oh, so you pushed her. And I was like, yeah, I pushed her off me because I wanted to go to bed. I don't want to fight with her, really get in a fight with her or anything. And they're like, oh, okay. And then the cop was like, do me a favor, just turn around and just tell that officer the whole thing. And I was like, this fucking idiot wants me to tell the whole thing to this guy. And so the second I turned around and tell that guy, the officer behind me was like, put your hands behind your back. And I was like, what is happening? And they fucking handcuffed me, and then they put me in the back of the squad car. And then my mom was like, no, where are you taking him? Are you taking him in charge? I'm like, no, we're taking him to fucking jail.
Yeah.
And she's like, that's not where I want him to go. And they're like, that's not how this fucking works, lady.
You don't get to pick.
Yeah, you called the cops. It's out of your hands after that.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh my God. And so then they drove me to a jail and booked me. And then they took me from there to you ever been booked or juvenile hall or nothing like?
Lucky enough, I've never been arrested.
Man, yeah, straight up got strip searched, had to like squat and cough and everything in front of a grown up, 14 years old, dick and balls hanging. Fucking
While he's rubbing his dick through his pocket.
like, dude, it's like, I'm like, how do they let people do this? Like, to kids.
It should be like, you know, when a female gets booked, it's a female officer who does it. Like, you should have a 14-year-old who does it.
So at least if they're like, you can be like, whatever, dude. Like,
yeah, it's like he has a little cadet badge,
right?
Like the sticker, and he's like, please squat and cough.
How old are you? But yeah, it's just everything's just like regular adult jail. Yeah. Just you're a kid going through it, and they gave me one phone call, and I called my mom. My mom was like, "I'm sorry." I'm like, "Well, too late now." She's like,
as soon as she says hello, you just go, "You fucking bitch," and hang up. Just got to get that out.
Yeah. I was like, "Well." I was like, how long am I going to be here? She's like, I don't know. I'm like, oh, goody.
Fantastic.
So she's like, all right, just I'll see what I could do. And I was like, cool. And then that was it. That was the conversation with my mom, who just like so angry, not even thinking like, uh-oh, I just put my fucking kid in jail for nothing.
Yeah. For like going to an assembly.
And so... I was in juvie for 2 weeks, and it was pretty much like Baby Oz. It pretty much was like Muppet Babies, the Oz edition. It really was. There was a guy in there, Shadow. He was part of the Mexican gang, and he was fucking like a tough guy, like built. Fucking, he had one of those Mexican bellies where it's like a belly, but it's got a 6-pack on it for some reason. Tattoos and everything. They call him Shadow because he was a little darker. And I was like, that seems kind of racist. And that guy sucked everyone's dick in there. And I was like, no shit. No.
He did it for the love of the game.
He did it for the love. And I'm like, that guy seems like the toughest guy ever. I try to keep to myself, but I definitely got a lot of shit because I tried to show that I wasn't like a degenerate criminal, like I didn't belong there. Yeah. So I kept asking like my counselor for books and shit. So I'd have all these books. So I'd be like, what, you think I'm gonna read all these fucking books in here? Like, what'd you do? What do you fucking think you're so smart? Like,
you're not doing 25 to life, motherfucker. Dude, you got 2 weeks.
Like, I remember they put me in first. So first they put me in a cell with another. Well, no, okay. First they put me in a cell by myself, 5150 watch, because of the way that I got arrested and the whole situation, the context. They're like. Oh, this kid's mentally unstable. Because my mom also, too, she in the report, she's like, he wanted him to go to a mental institution. Yeah. They're like, all right, put him on suicide watch. So first I'm in there by myself. Just in there, just like, what the fuck? Just sleeping on a cot. Just like, what the fuck? Just thinking like, this is my life. This is what my mom did to me. Then they put me in a cell with another guy who was crazy, who was known for escaping that juvenile hall. That was like his fucking 6th time in there. And then he was like a drug addict, so he would have like crazy like withdrawals and crazy shit. Yeah. They wouldn't let him go to eat in the dining hall or whatever because he was so crazy. Like he would grab shit like fucking cutlery and shit and fucking just do crazy shit. So he had to eat in there by himself. Turned out he had been stashing milks inside of his mattress. He cut open his mattress. He'd been stashing these fucking milks in there, right? And just no one was like, where are these fucking milk cartons going? They just were like, all right, fucking We'll get it. I don't even know.
Like,
So he's stashing his milks, and it started to smell in there. And I was like, what is, like, are you showering? He's like, no, yeah, man, I'm showering. And I was like, what is happening? Because I would never see him stash the milks because I would be eating with everyone else. And then I remember one day I was coming back from dining hall and that guy had fucking barricaded himself in our fucking cell and had doused himself in just spoiled milk and was completely just naked in there, just raging. They had to fucking go in there with the riot gear for this kid and just get him out. And then they were like, yeah, man, all right, it's all clear. And I was like, and I had to sleep in there a whole night, rotten milk all over. They're like, if you want to clean it, flush it down the toilet. I'm like, well,
thanks.
touching any of this. And I just had to like sleep like this, fucking rotten milk. And then they put me in like a gem pop cell with like 5 other dudes. And then like that was like okay, that was like mostly when they were like giving me the shit for the books and everything. But then like you had to shit in front of everyone. There was just like the one toilet, and so I'm like trying to shit, and they're like, "Well, you can't, dude." It's like, no, I can't shit. You're looking directly into my eyes right now, SA. Like, give me a break. And I remember I just real quick was like, "Fuck you, dude," and that guy got in my face, and I immediately just instinctually covered my junk, and he just was screaming, "I'll fucking kill you, motherfucker! You think this is a game?" I was like, "Guy, I'm just trying to take a shit."
I bet that was the best laxative. He steps up to you, you're like, oh my God, I don't have a problem anymore.
I'm done, thank you. Yeah, juvenile hall was wild. That shadow kid beat the shit out. So it's like, just like regular jail, everyone's like, the Mexican gang keeps themselves, the white kids fucking keep themselves. There's a fucking white supremacist kid in there, and we were all playing fucking softball, and everything's going okay, and that fucking shadow kid was up to bat, and this fucking guard guy just wasn't paying attention for a little bit, and Shadow just went, cool, walked right up to that white supremacist kid and beat him probably almost to death.
Jesus. That's amazing.
And we all just stood there like, damn. And then they fucking came, fucking pepper sprayed Shadow, fucking put him in fucking handcuffs and shit, fucking carted his fucking ass away and everything. Fucking
Jesus.
We all fucking were like, had to get on the ground with our fucking hands behind our fucking heads and everything. Fucking
Where do you think that fucking kid is now?
Oh, that kid's dead. That kid's, well, maybe not. Maybe he's like a successful, like, gay hairstylist now. Like,
how great would
you
that
would never
be?
believe how crazy my life used to be, but now I'm a hairstylist to the stars.
Imagine if you went to go get your hair done, like get a haircut, and then you see this dude come out like,
Shadow?
hello, I'm Shadow. Get the fuck out of here.
Were you at juvenile hall?
Oh, that'd be fucking amazing. But yeah, man, I get it. That's the thing. Like, I feel like I relate to comics so much because we all have these types of stories, man. Or at least most of us.
Most of us do. I mean, like, I don't think, like, people like Jerry Seinfeld wouldn't agree. Like, they had pretty, like, okay, like, good.
Like normal shit. Yeah. Because, like, when I had to have been, like, 14 or 15. And, like, I to this point, I don't have a great relationship with either of my parents.
Yeah.
You know, it's, like, the same way. And at that point, my parents, it was like a forced separation. You know, the cops told my dad he couldn't come back for a little while. So he stayed.
That'll do it.
So he stayed with my sister. And one day I told my mom, like, I need the car to go to work. And she's like, okay, I have to go to work. So just drop me off. You can take the car. Cool. We start driving. Like 5 minutes later, she just goes, okay, I'm not going to work. You're going to drop me off at this hotel. I'm like, what? She goes, yeah, I'm meeting somebody there. I'm like, who the fuck are you meeting? And she just wouldn't give up all the information. And I was like, all right. And so I take her, well, at first, I just go, she goes, I just don't need you to say anything. She goes, just drop me off. I'll tell everybody I worked a late night shift. You come pick me up in the morning. I was like, okay, what the fuck do I get out of this? And she goes, well, what do you want? I was like, cigarettes. Because I was like 14, and she was just like, okay. So she buys me the cigarettes. I take her to this hotel.
What a weird mom-son dynamic.
Yeah.
What a weird mom-son dynamic.
So I take her to this hotel, and there's some like 20 fucking 2-year-old there to meet her.
Damn.
And I'm just looking at her, I'm like, what the fuck is this? And like,
real quick, white or Mexican?
white.
Wow. Right? She went opposite this time.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, she's been dating a black dude for 5 years, so bitches all over the place.
Okay.
But like, and then I guess she was dating this guy for a while because like a couple weeks later, she calls me out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
She goes, "Hey, the car ran out of gas on the highway. I need you to go get a gas can and come get me." I was like, "Okay." So I get my buddy to drive me, get a gas can and whatever. We're on the side of the highway, fucking cars whipping by us, and I have some gas and I'm getting out to fill her up. And then I noticed that piece of shit, that 22-year-old, is in the front seat. And so I'm dodging semis trying to fill this shit up, and then I just get done. And I'm just fucking mad. And so I throw the gas can and I start yelling at this guy. I was like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? You're out here dicking down my mom? You can't even come in and fill up this fucking thing? I was like, I'm fucking
A. Fucking A.
I was like, I'm fucking like 15 years old and you're just sitting in your front seat like a piece of shit. And he just didn't get out of the car. I was like, you pussy little motherfucker.
You right. You right.
And I just hope that's where my mom drew the line. She's like, my son just punked you out. Like, how am I gonna respect you now?
I can't fuck you anymore.
Yeah. Oh, it's fucking wild, man. This
Parents,
shit.
fucking parents.
Oh my god. And have you thought of taking some of these stories on stage?
No, I don't know. The thing is, like, so it's hard, right? Like, the thing about that kind of stuff is, like, you really have to look at it, break it up. I feel like you have to really look at it, break it apart, and really try and figure out a way to make it funny. It's a big part of, like, why I feel like I'm not good at stories is because I get too focused on the wrong details.
Interesting.
And so, like, in order to take it on stage and make it something viable, I feel like you have to really break it apart and then really make it, like, an interesting thing.
Yeah.
Because if it's just complaining, if it's just like, oh, man, and then this shitty thing happened to me, and then this shitty thing happened to me, I think that becomes real tedious for the audience. People are like, all right, man, I get it. It sucks. I get it.
Yeah.
That's not what people are there to do. People are there to feel, like, up and, like, so it's like you got to really, like... you don't necessarily like want to make something up, but if you gotta like stretch something or you want to figure out something or find the funniest part of a story and then maybe lean into that part of it for sure. So I don't know.
Okay.
That's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why I haven't done any of that stuff like up on stage or anything.
Yeah.
I did a story about like my kid shit himself like at an outlet mall. Yeah. And that one I think is probably the best one.
Yeah, because it might be a little more relatable.
Pretty relatable.
But your dad choking you, not everybody goes through that.
Not everyone goes through that. So it's like you gotta really like
Because I got a bunch of shitty stories about my parents, and I have the same thing. It's like how do you break it down to where you can make it relatable, interesting, and funny?
Yeah.
You know, and I've had a hard time with that. Like, the most that I've brought to stage is like, you know, my dad doesn't speak English very well. He's been in the country 30 years, you know what I mean? And it's just it's lighthearted and stuff like that, but I could go, you know, you could always take it down deep, you know? And one of my favorite comics is Christopher Titus.
Ooh.
Because he's had a rough childhood, you know?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Dude. And one of his first special was one of the first comedy specials I ever saw. And it made I related to it so much because he talks about his childhood, his crazy mom, his drunk dad, and he goes through it and he makes it hilarious all the way through. And it's like, how, man? Like, how do you do that? But it's like, that's what wanted me to get into stand-up is like, you know, because I think at the end of that special, he was talking about how, you know, we all go through shit, you know, and if you want to tell me about the shitty things that you've gone through, put it in joke form, you know? And it's like that little chunk I always remember because it's like, that's what I want to do. Like, I want to take that shitty things and put it into joke form.
Yes.
So that I could talk to everybody about it, you know? Yes. But... yeah, I feel you on that.
It's a lot of work. I mean, I'm sure some people can just do it naturally, but for me, it's a lot of work to do a story. Because, think of everything that goes into like telling like a good story, like a Christopher Titus, like him doing something like the character of his dad, very like realized, very concise. Like you know who that character is. Like the character of his mom, same thing, his crazy mom and everything. Like so then he's got like good strong voices for all of that.
Yeah.
Like he's got good like act, like everything is very realized and very like clear as to what he's saying and all his information. Like that I think makes it so funny and relatable. Is his ability to just have everything right away. You're like, okay, I know this guy. His dad, okay, I know his dad. All right. Like so that's like the tough part of like stories and stuff like that. It's like
it's like it's almost like a movie when they have character development. Like you got to do that within a set.
Absolutely.
And develop these characters and get everybody understanding the dynamic of everybody. And then hit them with the funny. Because if not, if you're just saying, hey, my dad choked me, they're like, what the fuck is that?
They don't have any like real, like anything to latch onto. So they're, like if you have to like structure it for people to follow along or else they'll fill it in based off of their own stuff. And that's where you start to lose them. Because then they're not understanding where they're putting their own thing on it. And then they're not following exactly where you're going. So like, wait, did you mean this? Like that, and that's where you'll lose people. So definitely when you want to tell like a real authentic, heartfelt, like a real story like that, you got to make sure it's going to be like pretty clear, real good. Yeah, for sure.
All right, man. We'll wrap this bitch up.
Are we wrapping it up?
We are wrapping it up. This second half has been about an hour and a half. Pretty sure I lost the first hour because of my shitty software.
Dang.
If that's the case, I'm not too mad about it, but I'll see if I can recover it.
Okay.
Of course, I'll have you back on, because I'm going to cycle through most of my favorite comics in the scene, and then the rest of them can suck a dick. And so I'll have to come back to you guys eventually. Is there anything that you want to plug? Social media, anything like that?
I am Mighty Guffaw on Instagram and Twitter. I'm AJ Rivera on Facebook. So you just look up AJ Rivera. And on YouTube, just AJ Rivera.
All right. What kind of shit do you put on YouTube?
Just all my unedited sets. Like
really?
Yeah, it's really just a dumping ground for every single set that I've recorded so I can get it off my phone. Because I tried to record my set at Fitzy and Friends, and 10 minutes in, I did 12, and 10 minutes in, it said, no more memory. And I was like, mother fuck. So I just started dumping shit into my YouTube. And it's like probably not that smart because you should probably put something more curated and more edited in there with like, a nice filter and some closed captions. I don't give a shit.
I mean, that's interesting because if anybody wants to check that out, they can see how you developed, and they could just see the whole fucking thing.
My first set's on there for sure, the one from Extreme. It's very silly. I didn't touch the mic. I got my shoulders all up.
Yep,
I was like,
I watched that. I have my first set on my YouTube channel as well.
Nice.
It's rough. I can't watch it.
It's so funny. I am doing a one mic stand Thursday, December 16th. The headliner will be Bruce Purcell. Nice. The host will be Will Hunsinger.
Nice.
The feature is going to be Byron Austin. And some other guy's going to be there named Nuff said. Not Nut said. And then Sean Fitzy's going to be there. Sean Fitzsimmons will be there. And then me, of course, AJ Rivera, at a one mic stand comedy night, Thursday 16th, at, located in the Celebrate Room at 8255 Las Vegas Boulevard. It's at that like high-rise place, The One.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I've seen that. Awesome. That sounds like a dope fucking show.
I think it'll be good.
A lot of good people on there.
I thought it was Wednesday. I thought I was doing a show at Chonkla's. Because Bruce Purcell hit me up, was like, hey man, you want to do a show? And he said on the 16th, and this whole time I've been thinking it's the 15th. And so I was like, that's got to be Chonkla's. That's a Wednesday. Yeah. So I've been like telling a couple people, like, I think I got a show at Chonkla's. Turns out It's not at Chonka's. It's at the other place, but you know, Chonka's is also a fun place.
Yeah, I've never been there.
You never been to Chonka's? Great wings.
I was gonna go there.
Wings.
Yeah, I was gonna go there one day, and just happenstance they weren't doing a show that night, and so I was like,
wow,
fuck it.
They got it's a fun show. Tresmala will host there, like he does pretty good, and then it's not bad. It's like a cool hangout place. Ty goes there all the time.
Okay, I still haven't met Ty.
Still haven't met Ty? Yeah. Man, wait till you meet him. You're gonna love him.
Yeah,
you're gonna love him. I love you, Ty.
There you go. Yeah, go follow AJ at all of his things. I'll have it on the edited version so they can follow you more accurately. If you're in town, check out the show. Sounds like a dope show. I love Byron Austin. He's fucking hilarious. You can follow me. I always forget my fucking Instagram. I think it's _Hernandez_comedy. Pretty sure I got that right. So go there, check out my Instagram. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're not. Seriously Inappropriate on YouTube. Subscribe. This has been...
Wait, I got one more thing. Also, there's an open mic on Thursdays that is at Ocha Thai Restaurant. Ocha Thai, where you can get your noodles and comedy at the same time. That's right. Thursdays, sign-ups at 10, show at 11, the open mic at Ocha Thai, featuring Ty Rivera.
He's featuring this week?
I don't know if he's featuring this week, but he usually closes out the show is what he does.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I never stay that long. It's a late mic. I never stay till the end.
It's pretty late. What was your Instagram again?
_Hernandez_comedy.
You remembered it that time. I like it. All right,
I'm
guys.
not good at promoting myself, but I'll figure it out eventually. It's probably why my comedy career isn't going anywhere. It's because I'm mediocre and I can't plug anything. Anyway.
That's all of us. I love you, doggy.
I love you, man. Thank you for doing this. I'm sorry I probably lost the first half of it. But
I don't give a shit.
The second half was awesome. I like personal stories. I really like to get to know why you're actually a comic.
Nice.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Next week, I'm supposed to have Sam Lundstedt.
What? Big Dick Sam Lundstedt,
Big
man.
Dick Sam Lundstedt.
That guy be dragging the pineapple all through Las Vegas.
Yes. It's not going to be a podcast. It's just going to be me admiring his giant cock.
Ooh.
So come check that out. Thank you guys, and I'll see you later. Bye.